Well, welcome to Sitting on the Front Porch. My name is Colin Soros. We're going to talk about taxes and a new tax program called the Gross Receipts Tax. And it's a new taxing system. The G.R.T, we're calling it Missouri G.R.T, Gross Receipts Tax, is not only a little review, and I'm going to do this each week just because this one sentence is kind of the core of the entire taxing program. All the rest of it, the things are appendages and how it should run. But this is what it is in one sentence. It is a 5% tax on all goods and services sold in the state, included in the price of whatever sold, sent in by sellers only, and replaces all other taxes, fees, assessments, permits, and licenses. So you still have to get a permit or a license, but you don't have to pay for it. And so no other taxes. And it works really pretty easily. It's sent in by sellers only. It's included in the price of whatever anybody buys, and the seller is responsible for sending it into the Department of Revenue at the Capitol. Purpose of this podcast is we want you to know everything there is about the GRT. So when you go to the ballot box, this is going to be a constitutional amendment. When you go to the ballot box, we want you to understand all the details about the gross receipts tax, how it's going to be implemented, how it's going to work in the government, and what you have to do. We found, I guess you know this already, but the foundation of good government is engaged and informed citizenry. And that's the purpose of this, is to explain what this tax program is all about. So I've gone through the core of it. One tax included in the price of whatever sold. So the consumer pays the sticker price, whatever it is. And all the taxes and everything else are included in the price. That's the price of all sales, and it will raise enough money to fund the entire government. The nice thing about it is it eliminates a lot of paperwork and a lot of problems in keeping track of everything for the government. So these are the taxes that it replaces: no sales tax, no property tax, no personal property tax, no fees, no assessments, no licenses. You have to go get a license, but you don't have to pay for it. You have to get a permit, but you don't have to pay for it. And no inheritance tax. Any other taxes here in Missouri, most of them are federal after this, but nice, no income tax, no property tax. I mentioned this to a guy the other day who had a boat, and he said the most irritating thing about taxes is that I have a boat. I've owned it for 5 years, and I have to pay taxes on it every year as part of my personal property tax, and I've used it in the water about 15 minutes. He said this is so irritating that I would just like to throw the boat at the government. The theory is that the taxes going to the government need to support an infrastructure that makes it possible for the economy to work. So the government is responsible for establishing that infrastructure, which includes roads and police and court systems and all the things that the government does to support the economy. All of that has to be supported, and this proposal is that it's supported by the marketplace. So when you buy something, you're paying for the infrastructure to have that good or service wherever it is, from where it is to you, and you pay for it in in whatever you buy, and it's included in the price. Simplifies and streamlines all the collection stuff and all the exceptions and all of those. There are some few exceptions in the G.R.T, and we'll go through that in another video. But very, 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 very streamlined. So we're going to concentrate on a flow chart this time, and the flow chart is tracks the taxes from the sale right through to the government, and then through the government budgetary processes and where it all goes. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. This is so streamlined and so perfect, and you just cannot get a more streamlined and safe way to collect and distribute taxes. Okay, so this is we're going to explain the flow chart. The taxes are collected and distributed right from the purchase of the good or service to funding the government, both at the state and local levels, and what happens to any excess revenue that is collected by the state. So the first thing to do is to find out what the budget is going to look like. And then we'll go through the flow chart, and you'll see a couple of really, really ingenious things as we go through this. The first thing is the taxes are sent in by sellers only. And so it's included in the price of whatever's bought, and you as a consumer, you just pay the sticker price, whatever it is. And you just go home and never worry about taxes on that item again, whether it's a loaf of bread or a house. You don't have to ever worry about paying taxes for that again. So you will learn a lot more about this flow chart and lots more about the details of the G.R.T. if you visit taxliberty.org, and it even has more information than I'll be able to share with you today. So check it out, taxliberty.org. Okay, as mentioned, the sellers include the tax in whatever's sold. The buyer pays the sticker price, and the buyer is done. As soon as he pays the seller price, which included the taxes for getting the product to you. Okay, so the money comes into the government. The government then, all state and local governments are fully funded. Every year they get fully funded, and they get their budget directly from the Department of Revenue. What's fully funded is their base budget, and their base budget is determined like this. Since you have to establish a base budget right off, this is how it's done. You take the best budget that you've had in the last 3 years, and you take and then you add on 10%, and then that becomes your base budget. The only changes that come out on a yearly basis to the base budget would be changes in inflation rates, changes in population, and changes in taxing districts if you make a new taxing district. So all of the budgets at the state and local levels are funded from the Department of Revenue. Taxing districts are going to be determined by the legislature, but this is what I'm suggesting, that there be 4 homogeneous taxing districts in Missouri. One would be the Kansas City area, all the precincts and counties that are all involved in close to Kansas City. Then another one would be the St. Louis area. There are several different kinds of taxing systems in there, but but they would all be one taxing district because they would be homogeneous. Okay. The other one might be taxing district north of I-70 and taxing district south of I-70. Go to the flow chart to watch where our funds go. So it goes into the Department of Revenue. All the funds are distributed to the state and local budgets, are all fully funded, and this is their base budget, which I just explained. Any excess revenue that comes into the state, now this is genius. Any excess revenue that comes into the state after the budgets are fully funded go to the stabilization fund. Okay, the stabilization fund is kind of like a savings account or a rainy day account, and it's there for covering any temporary shortfalls in revenue, or for man-made or natural disasters, and it fills up to the point where it is will cover 2 budgetary periods. That's a lot of money. And so the idea is that any excess revenue comes in, and the first thing it does is, and this is part of the flow chart, the first thing it does is fill up the stabilization fund. It's like a savings account. It's like a safety net, right? The stabilization fund, once the stabilization fund is funded, then any excess revenue after that goes to pay off bonded indebtedness of the state. So it gets the state out of debt. Right? And then after the state debt is paid off, any excess revenue after that goes to adjust the gross receipts tax. So it will come down accordingly as soon as those things are paid off. The nice thing about it is that everybody benefits when the state gets out of debt, and also has a safety net, or the stabilization fund. Another little twist here, which was kind of interesting in this, is that all fines, penalties, and forfeitures are deposited to the stabilization fund. Now think about that for a second. That means that all the court systems are going to be in the budget and are going to be funded by the central government, by the Department of Revenue, independent of what they charge for fines, penalties, and forfeitures. The reason for this is to help keep our justice system just. And the nice thing about this is we, the people, get decided. Okay? And we do that by paying our taxes when we buy something. The legislature does not tell us what they're going to charge for taxes. We pay it when we buy something. And the theory behind this is that the marketplace pays for all the infrastructure necessary for us to get along about our lives and make the economy work. Okay, no other extraneous taxes, no big idea from some legislator to come up with a new way of taxing this, or selling bonds, or any of that stuff. You can't do that. In fact, in the article itself, the government is prohibited from selling bonds anymore. So that kind of completes the flow chart, and this is what it is again. Just to remind us, the money goes from the seller to the Department of Revenue at the state level. The state level funds all of the all of the counties and state budget, and also all of the local budgets. It's all funded out of the state, and then it eliminates all other taxes, fees, assessments, permits, and licenses at the state and local levels. It's included in whatever you buy, so you don't have to worry about it. Once you buy it, you pay the sticker price, and you're done. So this is going to be a constitutional amendment, which means that it has to get on the ballot, and this is going to be a big effort to do that, to get this passed. Because it's a constitutional amendment, we need all hands on deck. So please look at the taxliberty.org website. Secondly, please send in your comments. We want you to understand how this all works. This is the most streamlined taxing system, and the comment made by the Supreme Court Justice in Oregon was this is the most complete and comprehensive tax system he's ever seen. We want to keep it that way. We want it to be streamlined. We don't want to spend 50 cents out of every dollar collecting tax. We have the sellers send it in, and if they don't sell it in, okay, this is another nice little thing about this. If the sellers don't send in their money, then they get a civil penalty. In other words, a fine, and not a criminal penalty. Okay, that's so you won't have any IRS agents showing up at your door from the state. You still will from the government at the federal level, but who knows? And if the government decides to go with this software, you probably don't even have to worry about the sellers not sending it in, because it'll be taken out right at the cash register. We want you to keep watching, sitting on the front porch. We'll try to make it as interesting as we can as we go through all the aspects of the gross receipts tax. See the website, taxliberty.org. Send in your comments. We read them. We want you to please share and follow and use notifications. And we'll need your help later on when we have to get this on the ballot. And so it will be all hands on deck. This podcast is for we the people, and a reminder to the government that they're our servants. Thank you very much, and I will we'll have another podcast in a while and cover another aspect of the gross receipts tax. We covered the flowchart this time. There's lots of other little things in there that you will enjoy learning about. And when you go to the ballot box and say, yes, I'm going to vote for this, you're going to vote for it because you know what it is. The best government is when the citizenry are engaged and informed. Thank you very much. This is Colin Soros, and I'm happy to be meeting you electronically anyway. But who knows? Later on, we're going to move this a little bit further afield, and we're going to be asking people if they would like us to come and visit them on their front porch. That's why we called it sitting on the front porch, so we can sit with you right there, get your concerns, get your comments, get your ideas, and we'll do it on podcasts. So you might see yourself on podcasts someday. Right now we're going to keep explaining gross receipts tax until you have all the basics. Thank you very much. Appreciate you listening.